The only difference is that I'm in a wheelchair and I can't move my legs. I don't work on footwork. That's the only difference. Besides that, everything, the fundamentals, the punching, the endurance, all of that is still part of the game. I'm just in a wheelchair, I'm locked in, and I can't move. That's the only difference. So you kind of want to think about it as an inside boxer at all times.
I think the risk of being hit, that would be the first thing people would think, like, oh my God, they're in a wheelchair, they're getting hit. And we're protected. We have our mouth guards on, we have our headgear on. So it's not that we're like in risk because we're being protected. And also we have the skills of moving away from the hits and also, counterpunching it, and it's a skill.
Hello there, and welcome to Skyman and a Bug. I'm the Bug, and that is
the Skyman.
We are here to build relationships, technology, and work on the many wonders of being a business owner and a nutcase. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to you listening to us, laughing with us, and taking the journey with us as we build businesses and relationships. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to our episode, our podcast. And I'm glad you're here, faithful listeners, loyal business owners, leaders, educators, innovators, technologists, healthcare professionals, and there's a whole bunch of other titles that we have out there. Now, oftentimes we have business leaders who are here, but today we have a rare chance. I met Claudia previous to through her husband in a different capacity, and it was the first time I heard the term adaptive boxing. And I understand boxing. I grew up here in the U.S., so I know boxing, but I didn't know adaptive boxing. And once I learned about it, I figured, oh my God, I want to know more about it. What's exciting and why everybody else doesn't know about it. And so this is a rare opportunity. We talked to two athletes, world champions here. I'm saying that intentionally, working my way into that one, and then being able to help us as leaders understand what it takes to reach the top of your game, but also the fortitude it takes in some of the challenges to be there in the ring, making things happen. So my guest today, of course, is Claudia and of course, Joanna. So welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All righty. You're welcome. All right. So first question. I want to give us a little, Joanna, you gave us a little backstory. So if you don't mind giving, I didn't fill in the backstory because I intentionally wanted you to share it in your own words. Since I guess, Claudia, I know a little bit about yours, and I just found out about Joanna's. Tell us, Claudia, what's your story?
Well, I started adaptive boxing about 4 years ago. It all started going to the gym, and I was, working out there doing the Saturdays workout. And then soon later, I started doing some one-on-one sessions, and I was approached by a coach saying, hey, you want to try out some adaptive boxing? And at first, I was doing for cardio because they were offering class. So I knew a little bit of it, but once I started going in, we started learning, some foundations, start hitting the bag. And then next thing you know, he was like, all right, it's time to spar. I was like, oh, wait, we're actually doing this in my head. So then after that, just fell in love with the sport.
Cool. Joanna?
Yeah, so for me, boxing was definitely not in my wheelhouse, to be honest. When I heard boxing, I was like, absolutely not. I don't want to get hit in the face. I paid too much for my teeth to be in braces for 2 years. Like, this is not for me. Like, why are you asking me this? But I did want to get cardio in, and I felt before my injury, I did like kickboxing and all the classes that you can think of, like at a regular gym. I'd love to do just because of the cardio side of it. So I started doing it with Coach Devon. Really loved it. I was there with another athlete, another boxer. And the more that we learned about boxing, we were like, we want to hit bags. And then from hitting bags, we started to learn more of the fundamental and the love. I started watching more boxing matches and started falling in love with it. And then we knew that the next step was hitting each other. So we did that, very, very cautious about it, just because, hitting your stablemate feels weird. But we knew that it had to start from somewhere. And that's how we kind of like just started to roll. We started really falling in love with it. And we started recruiting some other people at the gym. Like Claudia had mentioned a little bit, we started noticing other people. We were like, we think they would be good in the ring. So then here we are 4 years later with a showcase around the corner.
Cool. So for those who've never heard of adaptive boxing, myself included, prior to my previous conversation. What is the big difference between what we normally think of as boxing and adaptive boxing?
The only difference is that I'm in a wheelchair and I can't move my legs. I don't work on footwork. That's the only difference. Besides that, everything, the fundamentals, the punching, the endurance, all of that is still part of the game. I'm just in a wheelchair, I'm locked in and I can't move. That's the only difference. So you kind of want to think about it as an inside boxer at all times.
So you're bobbing and weaving a lot, I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes. It's like yes.
For sure. So what would you say is your first like match that taught you, yeah, I'm really into this?
Move.
Claudia, if you want to take that.
Wow. I think going in while we were at practice, like she said, we were practicing with our stable mates, getting comfortable with it and also, trusting our stable mates, the right correct punches and how to land them and not actually, getting hurt. So yeah, I think that's when it clicked to me.
I think when
So
you know
did you
you can handle a punch is when you know you're gonna love the sport. Because I've got hit a couple of times and I'm like, okay, keep going at it. I'm gonna get you sooner or later. So I think it's just like that first punch, right? That first punch, like if you can handle it, you're like, I got this. If you can't, I think that's when people back off and they're like, I didn't like how that.
Mm,
Yeah, because we're
I'll be
off.
telling you, I'm
Yeah, we're often like sometimes they'll say, "You okay?" And I'll be like, "No, no, keep going. You're good. You're good. Let's go." So we're often
Mm.
saying that to each other. So we're like, "No, you're good. You're good. Come on."
So Joanna sounds like she likes the Muhammad Ali rope-a-dope type thing, tiring the opponent out by getting hit.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Yeah.
this is a full contact sport. So what is the common misconception you would think that people, when they hear the first time the adaptive boxing, that you find enjoyable to help them to understand about adaptive boxing?
Claudia, do you wanna?
Okay, so I would say I think the risk of being hit, that would be the first thing people would think like, "Oh my God, they're in a wheelchair, they're getting hit." And we're protected. We have our mouth guards on, we have our headgear on. So it's not that we're like in risk because we're being protected. And also we have the skills of moving away from this from the hits and also, counterpunching it and so it's a skill.
Yeah, and I think with Claudia saying the misconception as well is like people are like they're in wheelchairs. How are they going to be able to do this sport? And I think it's hard to translate, right? Like I'm sure the same thing happened with wheelchair basketball and wheelchair football. Like at first they're like, how does that even work? Like how can you make that happen? But we just have to teach and our coaches have learned to adapt it to so many people with different disabilities that now our job is to teach everybody or to show everybody that just like wheelchair basketball and every other sport out there, it's just another sport. It's just adapted and it looks a little different.
Hmm. So as you approach people around the globe now, and I remember, Claudia, you were in, I believe, Spain, right? That
Yes.
you went to go and compete in
Hmm.
Spain. What is the perception abroad versus here in the United States? Is it much more recognized, say, in Spain because you went for a belt title than it is, hey, in your part of the world, in the DC area?
I would say there's a little bit more athletes out there on I guess internationally on the Europe side. We're definitely trying to make it
Mhm.
grow here in the States. So that's basically our goal. We want to make it to grow until it can eventually, get into the Paralympics. Yeah, that's our main goal. So we're trying to make it awareness and, we're going to have, come to September, we're going to have people from different states come and fight us. So that'll be exciting.
Hmm.
So are there any styles from traditional boxers you try to emulate or training styles you like to work on?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's that.
So
Like
who's your boxer of choice?
male Canelo for sure. 100% Canelo and
Hmm.
females
Females what? I'm sorry, I missed that.
Amanda Serrano. Yeah.
Claudia?
I would say same, but also, I mean, I will agree with her at the same thing, but also I just like watching any good fight. So I just like watching any fight that's on there. So
So so when you're watching and as both educators and students of the sport, what are you looking for in that I mean, other than enjoyment and two, pugilists in the ring and going at it, what do you enjoy most about just watching it and studying it that other people who are not in the boxing arena would never get?
I think studying for me when I watch a a fight, I always want to see how they go in and they develop little by little. The first round, they're studying each other. They're kind of just throwing punches to see how one is going to react. By by the third, fourth round, they pretty know how their opponent is reacting and what they're doing, what works, what doesn't work. So I love to see the development and see how every fighter enters the fight differently. You see some fighters go full swing from the beginning, but then by the end they're tired, or by the middle of it they're not sure what they need to keep doing to continue this fight to the 12th, or if they're able to knock their opponent out. So I love to see the climax of it, how they figure out what they need to do. For me, when I study it, I'm like, ooh, I want to learn how to do that move. How did they make that opening to hit the body and then hit the head? So you take little tokens for me, every time I watch a fight, I take little tokens here and there, and I try to emulate when I want to do it to see if it works or it doesn't work. But I think just like any other sport that you watch, soccer right now with, the World Cup going on, they study their teams. How are they going to make those plays? How are they going to make it happen? It's the same thing in the ring. You kind of start to analyze, what are they going to do? How is this player going to adjust to what's coming at them?
So,
Gotcha.
Claudia, do you study your opponent like Joanna does, or are you more
No,
of a
no. I
Mike
definitely study. Oh no, I definitely study my opponent.
yeah?
Yeah,
There's
yeah. There's like little things they might do over and over again. I'll catch on to it. I think that's with every sport, like, hey, like if for example, a basketball player always goes to the left, shoots to the left. Well, you're going to force them to the right because their weak side on the right and block this shot and stuff. But like, for example, like she said, they do 12 rounds, we do 3 rounds. So we kind of have to like learn and then that's the word I was trying to say. Analyze them like in a faster pace. So our IQ with that, it was like is really fast. So we have, like, for me, I like to analyze maybe the first 30 seconds of it and see what they're doing, and then try to strategize it from there with my opponent in front of me.
So outside of the ring, and I heard Joanna say something, I'm going to come back to that, what you said earlier, but how is adaptive boxing assist you in your day-to-day work life? I mean, now, again, just from a novice, do you come in with like, faces all bruised up and you got to explain that you didn't walk into a door or something like that? Or you're like, oh yeah, my eyes, all I can't see. Well, what'd you do this weekend? Okay, yeah. So how do you deal with that?
Luckily, kind of like what Claudia was saying, our coaches have developed it to be so safe that I don't have any wood around me, but I haven't gotten any black eyes or anything here and there. Maybe bruises on my arms, but they're pretty well hidden, so they can't see them. But on a day-to-day life, I think it's always surprising when you tell someone, "Oh, what do what did you do at the gym?" And I'm like, "I boxed, I sparred," and they're like, "What? What are you talking about?" But I haven't, maybe a lip. Now that I think about it, maybe like a little lip, and I'm like, oh. And my family's more like, what did you do? And I'm like, I got punched. And my dad's like, well, you probably asked for it. You should have moved out of the way. So, so stuff like that. It's like, you know,
Is your dad like an athlete too? Because it sounds like an athlete kind of
yeah,
answer. Like, yeah,
yeah,
you should have just
yeah,
moved a little.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, you get those and you're like, yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah. No pity. No. Are you okay, my daughter? It's like,
Yeah.
nah, you should have moved. I was like, okay.
so I got one thing I want to do. So Nikki, smile for the camera.
No, I am not.
Smile for the camera. So with his nice noggin, would that be a good target for you guys?
I can weave better.
Can you?
Probably not as good in a wheelchair. Okay. But I wanted to go back to something that both of you said with regarding to studying the opponent or studying others to see how do you learn from a mistake or take advantage of somebody going to the left or to the right, rather, as you said, Joanna. How does that translate to, say, leadership? We often come in contact with leaders who are, for their purpose, in the business world, very athletic, and some of them are actually athletes. That's what they do when they're not, running whatever they're running. How do you apply what you do to the business world or to the government world or wherever you find your day? How does that apply for that they can take learning to pay attention to look for vulnerabilities or advantages? Any one of you can answer that.
Okay. So I think
I can
go for it, Claudia. Nope, go for it.
Okay, I would say it definitely helps for me at work. You know, like critical thinking, thinking fast on your feet. I'm in at work, like say I was a team of four, so now we're a team of two. And now lately they're relying on me. So now have to think on fast on my feet, like, hey, do we have this amount of budget for whatever project we're working on? And able to pull that information or able to run the team and like, hey, this is what's going to happen on our everyday meetings or whatever task we have to work on at work.
Joanna?
Freeze?
Can you?
No,
Yeah, we got
Right
you. Go
here.
ahead.
Perfect. So I think, just to stem off what Claudia is also saying, as a leader, I love to see that I can stand my ground, kind of like what I've learned in boxing. Like I am a leader that has a voice, that people can hear me, and that I can lead not only myself but a team through a victory. I can also listen to a coach that is screaming at me, telling me,
Gotcha.
well, we lost.
Well, I think,
We lost.
yeah, I think it's one of these things when you interact with athletes that I think is so important. There's that I find unique about studying people who commit to being an athlete or to being a business leader or really, really understand that it's not by luck that they're good. That, I mean, and Josh, you can go into the sports side of it. If you study people who are the greatest players of all time, I can't think of one who had the natural ability. They may have had, much more skill than the average person, but they tended to have to work their butts off to get to that. What would you say to that, Josh?
Athletes that have natural ability that just got it from like get go. The only thing I can relate to is like a Bobby Fischer in chess who had it from like inception, who played at a very young age and stuff like that. Most people learn what their sport over time.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, chess. Would you put chess in the same category as a basketball player? Chess is mostly a mind game as
it's
opposed to a
strategy game.
tennis
It's a
player.
strategy game. So yes, I would put it in the same thing as learning if a pitcher is pitching to a batter, what kind of pitches will get the batter out, what kind of move would the chess player fall for to advance your to you to victory. Same thing. It's just different strategy, different sport. I mean, chess is considered a mind sport. So
Yeah, it is more of a mind sport than a physical sport. So, Claudia, what event is coming up in September
So
that we should be aware
yes,
of and where it
we
is?
have a big event coming up in September 12th. Correct me, John. We have about 6 matches lined up. Yeah, 7 matches. Yeah, we have 7 matches coming up, and they're all over around the different states. And it will be September 12th in Fairfax, Virginia. So once the actual location it will be posted, you can also follow us on social media on our Instagram, DPI Adaptive Boxing. That information will be on there. So check us out. And we think we will also be live, right, Joe? We will be live on there.
Is it pay per view?
No.
So just before we head off, have you guys fought each other? And which one of you came out victorious?
I did.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, both of these elite athletes who have taken time out of their schedule to be here on our program and our podcast. It's never a dull moment here at Skyman and the Bug. It never is, because our guests really are what makes the show phenomenal. It's finding those leadership qualities and adapting the way you do things depending on the environment, and then training yourself and training your mind to, approach a situation that may not always have you in the advantage phase, and being able to take your punches if you need to learn to adjust and to adapt. Yes, I am using that intentionally, but thank you very much, both of you, for being here on our program. And I look forward to the match in September. I don't know if I could sit in the audience because, man, it just looks scary to me. I don't even like boxing for that reason, but thank you very much for being here. And thank you, loyal listeners, for being on another episode of Skyman and a Bug. We'll see you on another program just like this in the future. You're welcome. Bye for now.
Take care. Bye.
You too. You've been listening to
The Skyman
and the Bug. We appreciate you being here. Join us again for another episode of Skyman and the Bug. And if you have any questions, reach out to us either on LinkedIn, Facebook, and other places that you just try to find us.
Take care.
Bye.